Hello, this is Clayton Luce with the Luce Report Examiner edition. Thank you for joining us. The Luce Report Examiner edition is going to be a series of commentaries based on articles that I've written in my column at examiner.com. I'm the Macon Economic Development Examiner there, and I've written some articles recently that have been pretty popular, so I'm going to go back through and read through the articles with some additional commentary and then respond to some of the comments that have been left by you, the readers. And you can go to the article at www.examiner.com, Economic Development in Macon, and you can really just go to examiner.com, just type in Clayton Luce. It'll be a lot easier to get there, but I will leave a link at the bottom of this video. So you can go through, you can view other articles. If you're interested in asking questions that you would like addressed in the video commentaries, you may do so, and I will go through each comment piece by piece and respond where response is necessary. So here we're going to start first in this edition with an article I wrote entitled "Georgia Illegal Immigration Reform Bill Creates Controversy." This article is dealing with the House Bill 87 and Senate Bill 40 that have recently been proposed and are now being debated. This is a very similar bill to the 1070 bill in Arizona, which created a lot of controversy dealing with the illegal immigration there and some of the new police powers that it granted. So here we go. I'll dive right into it. I'll read the article. HB 87 and its sister bill SB 40 are attempting to implement similar immigration legislation in the state of Georgia as the highly controversial and court-condemned Arizona legislation that caused an uproar in that state, including blacklisting by the national conventions, resulting in the loss of millions of dollars in state revenues. HB 87 seeks, among other things, to provide the authority and to encourage law enforcement officers to use routine traffic stops and other legal detainments of citizens to attempt to verify legal status in any case where an officer has, end quote, reasonable suspicions, end quote, or in the Senate bill, quote, reasonable cause, end quote, to suspect that the individual might not be a legal U.S. citizen. Opponents of the new legislations, including many public officials, community leaders, citizens, and legal immigrants, firmly believe that such a law would lead to the abuse of traffic stops and routine detentions for both unreasonable search and seizures as well as clear racial profiling, even though the legislation, in seeming contradiction of itself, excludes race, color, or national origin as factors in determining reasonable suspicion. This leaves Georgians to question what exactly would warrant reasonable suspicion, since the bill makes no attempt to define the term or to provide any examples of what that might include within the text. Proponents of the bill praise it for being a step in reclaiming U.S. citizen rights to U.S. job opportunities in Georgia that many feel have been stolen from American workers by the influx of illegal immigrants, particularly from Mexico. The main section of the House bill, that's one of the biggest parts of the controversy, reads as follows. This is from Article 5. During any stop of a criminal suspect by a law enforcement officer where the officer has probable cause to believe that such suspect has committed a criminal offense, including any traffic offense, if during the lawful detention of such a suspect the officer develops reasonable suspicion to also suspect that such person is an illegal alien, then the officer shall, when reasonably practicable, make an attempt to determine the immigration status of such a suspect. The bill goes on to state a few lines down, a law enforcement officer shall not consider race, color, or national origin in implementing the requirements of this code, except that to the extent permitted by the constitutions of Georgia and the United States. In the event that nationality and legal residence cannot be established, the person can be arrested. And this is now reading from the story. In the event that nationality and legal residence cannot be established, the person can be arrested and taken into custody until legal status can be confirmed or until the person can be turned over to federal authorities. The bill also lists acceptable forms of documentation an officer can ask for in order to prove citizenship or legal status, such as a valid license or state ID card. The bill would also require all employers to use the E-Verify system in hiring its employees. E-Verify is a national database that tells employers whether or not a potential employee is legally allowed to work in the U.S. The documented verification of employers' use of E-Verify would be required to obtain or renew business licenses in the state. Besides the legal implications of the bill, another big topic that is being re-raised amidst the controversy is why and how the illegal immigration problem has come to exist in the first place. Many Americans feel that illegals have stolen jobs from American workers, adding to the rising unemployment rates nationally. Others feel that these illegal immigrants have filled a crucial void in the economy left by Americans who refuse to labor at low wages and undesirable jobs, which has ultimately kept crucial food and agricultural industries in America alive. The argument starting to rage now among economists in particular is that these industries are required to keep the prices of end products low in order to survive among the national influx of foreign-based goods that are produced at even lower cost in parts of the world where wage laws don't exist. How can we remove the illegal workforce that is allowing U.S. and Georgia industries to produce low-cost foods and products without raising wages for American workers, which would in turn raise the final prices of the end products themselves? A common belief circulating, especially among older citizens, is that Americans just have not done their parts in competing against the other countries by sacrificing the high life sought by common laborers who prefer to live beyond their means. These common laborers are seeking a quality of life that has previously been available only to those with higher educations and specialized skills in leadership positions and entrepreneurs. There was a quote, "Nobody wants to be a peach picker anymore," said a former Peach County resident. "It's hard and miserable work out in the sun. Used to be that folks were proud to get a job in a peach field because it was work, and it drove the engine of the American economy. Now folks are lazy and everybody wants to make more money than they're worth to their employers. The Mexicans are proud to have a job and feed their families. They work hard and produce a lot more and are more valuable in the fields than the few locals that take the jobs for a summer and then quit." Regardless of the how and why, the questions that need to be asked and are being asked now is, what will happen to Georgia industries that require hard labor currently filled by illegal immigrants if this bill passes and we chase them all away? Will America suddenly be willing to work in the hot sun and labor-intensive positions at wages economically necessary to produce low-cost food products and other products that can compete in a foreign import, low-price dominated U.S. market? If not, will companies have to suddenly raise wages in order to accommodate demanding American workers, which means transferring the cost into the end prices that Americans will have to pay in the stores? Will these same American consumers and laborers then be willing to pay 2 or 3 times as much money for an American-made product that is sitting right next to a foreign-made product at Walmart at half the price in order to support the system? Last but not least, will the American laborers who then have to pay twice as much for food not demand the industries producing it to raise their wages even more to afford the increasing prices? That's the end of the article. I'm going to jump straight into the comments now, and as ideas come to mind, I might jump back for some additional commentary. Okay, the first comment from a fellow named Steve-O. And I'm not going to read this whole thing. A lot of it's just links. Apparently he's trying to get people to look at different websites. But I'll read through the body of the text. When did we lose our common sense? Our government has allowed the invasion of 30 million criminals in direct violation of Article 4, Section 4 of our Constitution. They force American taxpayers to pay billions to provide welfare, prison cells, educate the invaders' children, free medical care, massive document fraud, and are destroying our schools, hospitals, communities, culture, while robbing, raping, killing, and assaulting American citizens. Wake up, people. Obama and his holders should be impeached for not upholding the oath of office they swore to defend in the Constitution. If these clowns were to do their job, this would be a moot point. Anchors and their criminal parents, go, period, and cut the phony tears. You knew you were breaking the law when you crossed the border. Shut down any businesses hiring illegal labor and confiscate all property belonging to the owner. Property should be sold at auctions and the proceeds to pay for the massive deportation. Oh, and owners go to jail. Got any better ideas? Let's hear it. Well, Steve-O, I have one better idea, and that would be not to bankrupt the state of Georgia overnight. I agree that illegal immigration has become a problem, and I don't agree with Obama as a matter of personal opinion, but these immigrants are now the backbone of Georgia, both in agriculture and other production, manufacturing industry. And if they left tomorrow, you would be paying half of your wage and annual wages on food due to a collapse of the American food production system. The instability that would arise out of a large-scale industry readjustment and jacked up wages to pay greedy U.S. common laborers would virtually destroy the U.S. economy and place us into third world status. Americans would be trying to escape to Mexico. So if the solution is to get illegals out instead of an amnesty program, then it would have to be a gradual process, allowing time for the markets and infrastructure to readjust without creating such major imbalances that it would create a collapse. And it would have to start with a 100% secure border all the way across the line, and it will result in higher prices for food and products for U.S. consumers permanently, regardless of how slowly it's done. No, I don't believe in just rounding everybody up and shipping them back to Mexico, because our economy just simply would not be able to cope. Vote for Pedro. He says boycott Georgia. Yeah, power to the dynamite people. Maya, I don't know how to pronounce your name. She comments, it amazes me how illegal alien cheerleaders call citizens who want our immigration laws enforced bigots. You know what's bigoted? People who think they are above the law, people who refuse to assimilate, people who feel fully entitled to their parasitic lifestyles at the expense of Americans who never asked them here. Illegal aliens are invaders. They give no respect and they deserve no respect. As a matter of my opinion, it's not about respect, it's about economics. We all like to eat, so it's in everyone's best interest to put the food supply first and foremost in dealing with this and other problems. The reality is it's us, we have allowed the situation to develop, and because it's what it is now, we have to handle it wisely and with a certain amount of delicacy, and not just out of respect, but to preserve what's already an extremely fragile infrastructure that is very largely propped up by illegal labor. So my response to you is very similar to my response to Steve-O. Now we have a small essay here from Casca. I'm just skimming through here to see if this is worth the time of reading.